Hello, I'm Andrew, and I'm going to give you a quick explanation as to how to transcribe the census data into the Sussex OPC spreadsheet template. Our first job is to save this template file as a new file name, and we save it using the information found on this front page and reference number. So in this example, we would save this template as the following file name. We start off with the census year, 1841, the piece number, 1099, the parish name, which is Chidham, and the district number, which is 6. Each entry in this spreadsheet requires a folio page and row number. So for these entries, we would enter the folio as 4, page 1 and rows 1, 2, and you can just copy those down 25 rows. Obviously the first entry is a new inhabited building. Every new inhabited building is accompanied by a place name. Most enumerators actually got the place name correct, where the enumerator has indicated a name for every occupied building. However, quite often with our initial example, it is not uncommon to come across enumeration forms where the enumerator has simply entered in a single name at the top of each column. This usually occurs when there are no identifying street names or other buildings present. Some common sense is required, as sometimes you will actually come across a single entry in the middle of a blank column. And here we have one such example, and this is Prospect Cottage. Obviously Prospect Cottage is a single building, so therefore these new inhabited buildings were not to be called Prospect Cottage. And in this example we just simply revert back to entering them as Chidham. So we can enter the place name here as Chidham. The next 3 columns record uninhabited buildings, inhabited buildings, and the schedule break. The schedule break is to indicate a new inhabited building and to record the break between the different occupants of the building, which is indicated by the single diagonal stroke between the 2 rows. As there are no empty properties to record, we leave this column blank. We then enter a 1 in the inhabited column and 1 in the schedule break column. Please note that the schedule break and inhabited column will only contain a number 1. To record the number of empty properties, you take every single row for the current occupied building which you are working on and add up all the empty properties recorded in the uninhabited buildings column. Therefore, if we were working on this building, we add up all the unoccupied buildings recorded on these 5 rows. So that would be 5 empty properties, so you would then enter 5 on this cell here. To recap then, a new inhabited building is entered into the spreadsheet with a place name, 1 in the schedule column and 1 in the inhabited column. Then you add up and enter the number of empty properties recorded within the rows for this inhabited building, and enter the number in here. And we also enter a 1 in the schedule break column to indicate a break between the occupants of a house. In this case we have the family and the servants, and this is indicated by the single diagonal line. So this is a break between Elizabeth and Sarah, so this will be recorded as a 1 on the same row for Sarah, which is like so. Entering names is very straightforward. Just remember that the names are actually in reverse when you come to enter them into the spreadsheet. However, there will be times when you come across a word which you cannot decipher or actually read. If you cannot decipher the whole name, just record it as a single question mark, like so. If you can actually make out a couple of letters, then please record these, and leave the other letters which you cannot decipher as question marks. So you'll end up with something like this. When it comes to ages, you enter them in exactly the same way as they are on the enumeration form, that is, in the male and female column. You'll also come across ages which are written in months, days or weeks, and the way we enter these is to enter the number in first, followed by a space, and then a lowercase m for months, d for days or w for weeks. If you come across any ages which you cannot read, or decipher, then again enter those as a question mark. When it comes to the occupations, I prefer to type out the names in full. However, there is nothing to stop you from entering the abbreviations as they appear on the enumeration form. So you could enter it in as just FS. When it comes to the born in the county column, you either enter in a capital Y or a capital N. Or, if the person was born outside of England, such as Ireland here, you leave the born in the county column blank and enter an I in this column, or of course a S if Scotland or F if foreign. A more advanced template with all the error checking. I have included a quick fill column for born in the county. All you have to do is just enter in the nose for the born in the county. I'll just quickly demonstrate. So if I put in an N here, and we can put in an S for Scotland here, and I'll just quickly demonstrate that. So here we have a few entries, and when we copy this down, it will auto-fill this column. And there you see, it leaves this line blank for the entry for the Scotland. So then all that you need to do when you have finished is copy this column over into this column. On rare occasions, you will come across empty rows. All you need to do is just simply delete these rows or just overwrite the rows with other data. If I wanted to delete row 19, for example, I could just select this row and right click and select delete rows, like so. Or if it was this case at the end here, I can just overwrite the data, or of course you could move the whole blocks of data upwards. That should have covered just about everything which you will encounter. If you wish to see a walkthrough and hear a more detailed explanation, then please see my other video. You may also wish to have a look at the other videos available. So goodbye and thank you for watching.